Good morning. Woke up today to another new low, 83.5 kg. So in terms of the happiness and motivation it gave me, it is close to zero, right? So quite surprising, okay? But come to think of it, right, after reflecting why this is the case, right, compared to yesterday's amount of motivation I received, right, I think it has to be due to the amount of motivation and fulfillment or happiness something gives you, right? It has to be usually linked to how much you struggle to achieve it, right? So let me give you an example. I'm sure you have heard many successful people say like it's definitely more fulfilling and happy to make your first 100k compared to like your first million, right? So I think it's actually the same principle, right? Even though on paper, the 1 million is way more in terms of result wise, but from 0 to 100k, the struggle to get there is definitely tougher because you have to really learn everything from scratch, whereas from 100k to million you are already you have a certain foundation and you are just building on top of it. So it's the same case for like my this weight, right? Even though it's my weight was lower than yesterday, right, but I didn't gain any additional like fulfillment or happiness or motivation that you may expect, because naturally I'm of a lighter weight. That means in terms of result wise I'm better than yesterday, right? I'm also visually leaner, right? So naturally these are the things that you would think will motivate you to go further, but it wasn't the case for me lah, at least, right? So like I said, this is why you should not be relying on motivation, because if I were to be relying on motivation, then today, it's just another bad, so-called bad day, right? But it's not. It's just another day, right? Whether I'm extremely motivated or not, right? I'm still going to train. I'm still going to maintain the consistency in my diet, because that is what will, set up the foundation for your fitness journey success. Okay? This is why I have been emphasizing throughout this journey that the focus should be on the process as well as the consistency instead of any extrinsic things like the results, the motivation, or because these are the things that will potentially sabotage your end result, if I may say. Even though the focus should not be in the result, but I'm sure that everybody work out or like diet because they want to look good, and ultimately by looking good itself is a end result that we all want, right? But how do we even achieve this, right? I think it is important to actually find joy in the process. So if you are not relying on any motivation and whatsoever, right, it may be hard and difficult to stay consistent. But I know it's definitely easier said than done, because I know, especially if you're a beginner and if you are not someone who enjoys sports or whatsoever, who in the right mind will find joy in working out and dieting, right? Myself, when I started, I was someone who is very unathletic, right? I am very bad in sports. I like to eat a lot of food. Okay, I have a naturally big appetite coupled with bad dietary choices made me very fat. And the reason why I started working out in the first place and going to the gym and stuff is most probably the same reason as you, which is ultimately I want to look good. Okay, back then I was young, so my purpose of looking good was to find a girlfriend, right? Because I was in like a boys' school for 10 years. So when I started at around age 17, I was going into a mixed school, which means I will be, interacting with girls lah. So I wanted to get in shape so that I have my best chances, right? But after, I think about 6 months in, then I fell in love with the gym. Okay, mostly how I actually found joy in the process is because I was training with friends who are motivated in terms of just training and improving their body, right? So I think the focus for them was like in the terms of like self-improvement. So by being around the environment, I am able to absorb that kind of energy, right? So it also changed my perspective in terms of like, working out should be enjoyable and stuff. Like, and then naturally when you want to self-improve, okay? So like I said, if we focus on self-improvement, right, that will bring us the most amount of fulfillment, right? Then naturally the actions that we take in order to improve, it will be easier. For example, diet, right? Nobody loves to diet, but in order to take your progress to the next level, that's something that you have to do. Okay, this is why I have actually changed my approach when it comes to coaching in terms of like sustainability for most of my clients, because I know how difficult it is to even start one thing. I mean, to even make the decision that you want to transform your life and body, right, is a big step. Okay, and it's not easier, the fact that training and dieting is such a boring and long term kind of thing. And likelihood, if you are very out of shape, you won't really see result for majority of the time until the end, right? So in order to give your best chance in reaching the end, okay, so like talk about the tunnel thing, right? This tunnel is very long, and it will be dark for a long time. Okay, so how do we ensure that we can continue walking without any, without any chance of giving up? Okay, is to make things sustainable, right? Like I said, like, don't try to copy people's routine or diet because you want to get the results as quickly as possible, right? Because first thing, if you acknowledge that the fact that the results will definitely come slow, then it will be naturally, the logical thing will be to make the journey as sustainable and easy as possible, right? And if you are able to do so, naturally you will be able to find joy within these things. Things like diet, right? Don't eliminate any food that you typically enjoy, but instead try to make it work into your macros and calories. Okay, and then in terms of like, training wise, okay, find exercise that you enjoy instead of like what other people recommend. Okay, end of the day is very simple, right? Like body transformation, but it's not easy. Okay, simple in the fact is you just have to train hard in the gym and then make sure you're consistent with your diet. These are the things that will make sure that you reach your end goal, which is the result that we all want at the end of the day. Okay, but in between is going to be a long dark tunnel. Okay, so I think it's best to make sure that this tunnel, when we are not sprinting in the tunnel, so that but rather a slow consistent walk regardless of how we feel. Okay, so I think definitely not easy, but as you see yourself improve and you are able to be more consistency, I think naturally you will be finding the joy that we all talk about. Okay, maybe for some of you that are quite new to this fitness thing, it could be quite difficult to exactly understand what I'm talking about, right? But as you slowly see the improvements, as you start to see some light in the tunnel, right, then I think that's where you will start to see that everything you are doing has a purpose. And if things that you are doing has a purpose and it is sustainable, I think naturally the joy is just a matter of time. So right now, time to find some joy in legs. See you at the gym. Okay, so the previous leg day was quad focus. So today it will be the complete opposite. Hamstring focus, itinerary, one leg curl, one hinge for now. Okay, so because this gym only has this prone leg curl, right, that will be my option. 8 to 12 reps, warm up. Okay, good. So I think it will be more of a straight sets. Okay. Okay, so that was the first set. Most likely straight sets. Okay. Oh, personally, I think the seated leg curl is easier to push. Okay, but you know, you don't have it here in this gym. Okay, here's the plan. So the first two set was about the 8 to 12 rep range. So I will do another two set, but trying to go towards the 6 to 8. Okay. Because for the hinge, I will be planning to do a bit higher reps. So let's get some heavy in. Okay, too heavy. Do a drop set. Okay. Oh, so didn't quite get 6. So I did a drop set. Okay, since just now that set was way heavier than I would like, the last set I will do, okay, slightly lighter, 10 to 20 reps. Okay, so it counts complete. So for the hinge movement, dumbbell stiff leg, okay, warm up. So for this, I think I want to be keeping rep range 8 to 12. So I'll just keep doing 12 rep sets till I reach a set where I cannot get 12. Oh, okay, that's good. So good. So if you're wondering why I stopped at 8 reps, was because I felt that 8 reps was enough to get a decent warm up with that weight. Okay, because for this stiff leg, usually my cardio is the one that is affecting my reps. Right? So I roughly have a weight in mind that
I want to do. I think it's about 45 kg or 50 kg. Okay, that will put me where I want in terms of like the rep range and weight. Okay, so I want to try to reserve some of the cardio for the later weights. Okay, so another 1 or 2 warm-up set, right? Then I think, should be about there. Okay, I think one more set with 35 or 40, we shall see. Okay. 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 Yeah, 50s is definitely the working weight. Oh. Okay. I think the hardest part is actually unracking. Oh, easy. What the fuck? Okay. Okay. Easy. Okay. Okay, it's very light. Okay, so honestly, I didn't expect the 50 to be so light, right? But I did got 12 reps. So based on my rules, right, by right, I'm supposed to increase weight. So 54, I think should be no problem. Yeah, honestly, I don't really want to increase so fast because I just recovered from a lower back injury not long. Right, but 12 reps is more than enough of a green light for me to increase. Right, so I think for the last set, 54s, okay, should be where is that? Okay, let's go. The problem is the unrack. So if I can get this done, it should be easy. Okay. Okay. What the? Okay. Calm my collector. Ooh. Okay. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. Now the hard part. Okay. Okay. Done. Time for quads. Okay. So for quads, okay, usually on my hamstring day, I like to keep it more inner thigh focus, right? So I think I'm going to start off with pre-exhaust with the adductors. Okay. Then after that, for the compound, most likely it will be this belt squat. Okay, normally I would do a wide leg press. Okay, but since there's a belt squat, you know, why not make use of it? Okay, so for adductors, I think it is going to be pyramid sets, right? So, as usual, remember to warm up, because the last thing you want is to pull a groin. Okay, so starting like 20 reps. Okay. Ooh. Yes. 5, 6. Okay. Beautiful. Okay. So increase weight, and then we're just going to keep doing until we hit 6 reps. Oh, okay. Hmm. 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 Okay. Okay. I'm stopping at 20. Okay, because no point doing any more. It's just too light. So for this also, rest time very short. I think about 1 minute. Okay, forgot to remove this. Okay. Okay. Ooh, okay. Okay. So I'm also not going full all out failure because I still want to increase weight. I think I most likely have another 1 to 2 sets. Okay. So the heavier I go, I want to be able to control the weight even more. Okay. Cause, like I said, don't want to pull a groin. Wow. Ooh. Oh. That's good. I need one more. So 110. Okay, I want to make sure I cannot get 6. So 120. Okay, so my same rules apply. If I cannot get this for 6, then I will do a drop set. If I can get more than 6, okay, this will most likely be my last set. Okay, because, you know, no point going any heavier. Okay, so Oh, okay. Shit. I thought the first rep I failed already. Okay. Drop set. I will bring my legs closer. Try to hit slightly different angle. Okay. Oh. Oh. Oi. Oh, okay. Beautiful. Okay, belt squats. Okay, so for this particular machine, right? Okay, my legs are too long. So I'm adding these blocks to allow myself to get as deep as possible, right? Because, okay, so I want to be going as deep as possible, as well as slightly widening my stance so that I can hit more of the inner thigh. Okay, so slightly outside, shoulder width grip. Okay, weight right in the middle. Okay, so hinging slightly forward as well. Okay, perfect. So just warm up. Okay, 8 reps. Just to get the feel. Let's start to add weight. Okay. So if you have OOCD like me, make sure to find similar size plates, even though it's not going to make much of a difference, right? But it's just an OCD thing. For those of you who have, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, where are they? Cannot find. Okay, found it. So maybe for this high reps, I think maybe 2 plates with as many reps as possible. Okay, let's see. Okay. Okay, so I think this will be the first working set. Most likely, depending how many reps I get, it will either be straight sets or pyramid sets. Let's see. Okay. Okay. Yeah, definitely can increase. Ooh. Oh. Okay, let's go. Oh. Okay. Okay, so this is where I don't really know what to do. I don't know whether I should maintain this weight or increase. Right. Okay, so I got 9 reps, but I didn't go to complete failure because I still want to do one more set. So I don't want to be stuck at the bottom then I'm forced to drop weight or, so by not trying but the last rep, I know I can still reserve some energy so that I can increase the weight or at least, do one more set with the same weight. So, not so sure. Okay, I think most probably increase. Okay, how much is the issue? Either 10 or 20. We shall see. Okay, let's go. Last set. Oh. Oh, fuck. Okay. Whew, shit. Overestimated. Okay, so drop set. Okay, since I didn't get 6, but the problem will be how am I going to get this up? Oh. Oh. Okay. Oh. Yep, this is too deep. Cannot get this up. Yeah. Okay, so that was a complete failure, right? Another reason why I did not want to go to complete failure on the second last set, because I had to remove all the weights, to re-rack. Okay, but since I didn't get 6 reps, I'll do one more, just with 2 plates. Okay, so try to go as deep as possible, and then one more set to failure. So after reviewing the footage, actually I should have maintained weight. Okay, but try to go a bit deeper and improve the rep quality, right? But sometimes when you're feeling good, the ego takes over, right? This is why sometimes it's good to record and learn. Okay, so last set. Okay. Up. Ooh. 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 Okay, this is where I will usually rack. Okay, so another 2 more. Okay. Done. Okay, so the next exercise is not for the faint-hearted. Okay, but let me just clear the pathway first. If you know what exercise I'm gonna do, then yeah, said this. So then look, just clear. Okay. So if you know, or if you have guessed, walking lunges. All the way there and all the way back. Okay, so usually make sure to strap up for this because the grip usually fails quite often when you're doing so many steps. Okay, so gonna start off modest because this is quite a long path. Okay. 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 Oh my god. That's crazy. Oh, almost. Oh, oh my gosh. Okay, so normally I only will lunge to that black area and then back. Okay, but going all the way to the bicycle there, okay, I think the distance is at least double, right? Wow, not crazy. Okay, this is more cardio than anything, I can tell you. Okay, I think one good set like this is more than enough. I wanted to give up. After the white part, I come back to the black part. Okay, that's where I wanted to stop really. Okay, but once we decided lap, I had to keep going. Okay, so let's say if my muscle fail first, most probably I will just stop there at the black part, wherever I feel. Then I'll rest about 30 seconds. And then no matter how many steps it takes, or how many tries, or how many rest, pause I need to do, I will complete this lap. And then that's one set. Okay, so one set of walking lunges, I think more than enough. My cardio is burned already, I think. Okay, the next, I'll be doing stationary lunges, but with heavier weight. Okay, so that it'll be more on the quads, not so much on cardio. Okay, so about 3/4 in the workout is also when I like to get in a shake. Okay, today is one squat away with about, I think, I'm not sure how many grams of carbs, but it's about 50 grams of carb powder. Okay, maybe around 50 grams of carbs. Okay, so whether I determine whether I want to have carbs or not, depends on what time I train, right? So today I had to train a client first before training myself, and I like to train fasted. Okay, so when this is the case, okay, I am more, how do you call it? I'm more fasted. I'm more in a fasted state, right? So this is why I want to get carbs in, so that I can, prevent any muscle breakdown. Especially when you're in the deficit and depleted, right? Your body will use anything it can for energy, right? So to prevent the risk of muscle breakdown, you want to at least have protein, okay? But it can with carbs, okay? Because carbs is protein sparing and muscle sparing. Oh, okay, so stationary lunges. Okay, we'll go heavier. Just now, the walking was 20. Okay, for this, 30. The heaviest lunge, 35. So, 30 will be just nice. Okay, Oh my god. Ooh. 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 Okay. Wow. Oh. Oh. Okay, so for that set, I don't know if it's actually heavy or it's just my cardio and my glycogen is completely depleted. So I think definitely perfectly okay if I cut this here and move on to the next exercise, or maybe I'll do one more. But if I'll do one more, most probably I want to do a heavier set, okay, so that it won't be too taxing on the cardio. But then again, I only got this for, if I'm not wrong, 6 reps. So 6 reps is really like the bare minimum kind of rep range. Okay, this is why I'm not sure whether I should cut this here. Okay, but let me rest first and then I'll decide. Okay, so my heart says yes, but my brain says no. So today the brain won. Okay, the reason being, my recovery for my legs hasn't been that good. So, I rather not take the risk of it not recovering in time again. Then I have to push back my leg session, right? Like, for example, the previous session, I didn't train hamstring because they were still sore. So, I think take it easy since now we are in a deficit in terms of the volume to allow the muscles to actually recover in time so that I can hit it frequently. Okay, so another reason is, of course, I think I want to do some isolative work for the quads also. So leg extension, not as taxing as the lunges, right? Because single joint movement versus double. Okay, so the plan here, I think, let's see single leg first. If I like it, if not, double leg. Okay, not bad. I think single leg for today. Okay. So if you're familiar with Sam Sulik, we're going to do his method. 5 each side until failure. Okay. So I cut it off at 20 because, like I said, I don't see the point in going any heavier. I mean, any more reps because it's too light. So increase the weight and then Same thing. Okay, make sure it's. Oh. 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 Okay, perfect. I'm not sure if I overshot, but if I did, it's because I was very close to failure. Okay, right. One more set, increase weight. Oh. One. Okay, so this is a perfect set. Okay, my goal was to fail around the 10 to 20 rep range. Okay, so I think 12 and a half, perfect. Okay, okay, so one more set. Here's the game plan. Okay, so gonna increase the weight. Okay, so instead of 5 per leg, I'm gonna do 3 per leg until failure. Then I will bang it out with 2 legs at the same time. Okay, until failure again. Okay, then that should be about it for quads. Okay. Okay. Okay, let's go. Up, 1. Oh. Boy. 1. Oh. 3. Run. Oh. 3. Run. 3. Run. Oh. 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 Okay. Oh. 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 Okay, one last exercise. Okay, so when I say that was the last exercise, of course I wasn't lying. Okay, but since we did the adductors, right, we gotta show some love to the abductors as well, right? Okay, so nothing too crazy. Okay, just a couple of high reps straight set just to get some blood. Okay, hit. Okay, 10 outside. Okay, then hopefully 10 inside. Oh. Okay, so inside definitely way harder. Not sure because I fatigue from the outside, but next set, inside first, then outside. Okay, weight is good. Okay. Okay. Oh yeah, inside definitely way harder. Oh, okay. That's a good sign. I didn't manage to get 10. Okay, so more than enough. And that's it for legs.